Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from chapter 2, text number 1. Sanjay Uvacha Tam Tata Kripavistam Asru Purnapulekshanam Visidam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are the signs of ignorance. Compassion for the eternal soul is self realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of the drowning man is senseless. The man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self realization by analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of real self. Omagyanatimirantasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवसरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंकायितगिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दिनतारिणम् Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, this chapter is very important. In this chapter, we are actually trying to see the state of consciousness of Arjuna, where Arjuna is actually expressing his grief. That was the previous chapter. And then this is Sanjay is telling to Dhritarashtra that you see, Arjuna is in a difficult state now. Arjuna is unable to continue. He's unable to practice or he's unable to fight now. The moment Sanjay is telling to Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra is very happy. Why? Because Dhritarashtra is happy because Arjuna is in this state. But later on, Sanjaya is actually telling Dhritarashtra that don't worry, Arjuna will not be like this forever. He will change. This is a nature, right, of the world. If one person is in a difficult state, that gives happiness to the other person who has envious feelings to this person, who doesn't like this person. So this was a state of heart of Dhritarashtra. He doesn't like So he doesn't like what? He doesn't like this state. What is the state? That means Dhritarashtra likes Arjuna to be in this state. He doesn't like Arjuna to fight. Because if Arjuna fights, in his family members or his property might be lost, or there is an every chance of losing the battle. So if Arjuna is in this state with grief stricken, then that is pleasing the heart of the Dhritarashtra. That is one side, right? This is how the material world will is, right. Such a foolishness actually. Are your happiness is dependent on the other person's feelings. Your happiness is dependent on if other person is sad, morose, and that is giving you happiness. Is this not an animalistic consciousness? This is what generally happens in this world. If one person is sad or morose, is losing something, if we have some competition to with him, then immediately that gives happiness. There's no mode of prayer. There's no mode of trying to solace that person because now he's free, na. Now we are now the now we are not no, he's no longer competing with me, and now I can be superior. Now I can lead the kingdom. That is a consciousness. It's a very bad conscious, very bad mentality. That's why people don't actually see the greatness of wonderful personalities. The people cannot see. Normal people, they cannot understand the qualities of pure devotees, which is the quality of Arjuna. You know why Arjuna is grief stricken? There is nobody has a clue. Why Arjuna is grief stricken? Why Bhishmadev is actually on the side of Kauravas? Nobody has a clue. Why? Because they think because the consciousness is not there. Because they never took the association of the acharyas. Here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning what is real compassion and what is explaining what is material compassion and lamentation. What is lamentation, dear devotees? Lamentation means, have problems. The heart is not accepting. Why Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this is material compassion? See, dear devotees, any compassion which is not seen through the lines of the acharyas and the Lord, then that becomes material. Becomes material. See, we don't kill animals and eat because that is not dear to Krishna. Please understand. We are not killing the animals and eating them because Krishna doesn't like that. If Krishna says, no, no, you can continue eating, just like in Quran or in Bible it is been said, you can eat, that's okay. Krishna did not say that. Those are being spoken by Mohammedan. Prophet Muhammad has spoken that. This is also did not say you kill, you kill. But later on they changed it. Because it's all on the material plane. It's all on the material surface. It's not on the spiritual plane. But the compassion which the acharyas are telling, which the Lord is telling, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam. So what are we doing? Through this Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, we are not causing any harm to the animals or any harm to the living entities. No, some plants might be uprooted. That is acceptable because Krishna is okay with that. Please understand. The uprooted plants will be used in his service. There is no harm in that because it has been spoken by the Lord. It is his words. It is not our words. That's what Srila Prabhupada tells, right? Srila Prabhupada continuously tells, I am just repeating the words of the Lord. I'm just repeating the words of my spiritual master. I'm not doing anything else. That's what Srila Prabhupada is telling, is proclaiming. That is a real compassion. What is a real compassion? Real compassion is presenting the truth as is. It's not changing. That's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. Material compassion, material lamentation, there's so much difference. What is material compassion, material lamentation? Material compassion means through this material plane, through this body, or through bodily objects, through material objects, material senses, material assets. If a person is compassionate to that, then that is material compassion. The Srila Prabhupada proclaiming here as material compassion because Arjuna is actually speaking to the Lord directly on the plane of materialism. What is the plane of materialism? He is actually bringing his relatives, because that Krishna did not give that. Krishna did not tell Arjuna, oh, there are your relatives, let us not do this battle. If Krishna would have told that, then that compassion will be spiritual. Please understand this. There's a difference. There's a difference between material compassion and spiritual compassion. What is it? Spiritual compassion? If Krishna would have told before the battle, oh, okay, I know Arjuna. There are your family members. Let us not kill them. Let us stay away from that. Why, why we want this kingdom? Let us just give this kingdom. What is real? Why we shouldn't do? Let us just leave this and then go to the forest. If Krishna would have told that, dear devotees, then that is spiritual. Please understand. That means everything has to be done through Guru Sadhu Shastra. That has to come through the Lord. Lord has to sanction. Now, how do we know that the Lord is sanctioning Guru Sadhu Shastra? If Guru Sadhu Shastra, these three things are also because they repeat the same thing what the Lord is repeating. That means if Srila Prabhupada is assuring, if the pure devotees, his followers, they are assuring us, then dear devotees, then that is authorized. Then that is not material. For example, if our spiritual master says you work in an office, and then he says 50% of the salary you give in the service of the Lord. Now, if the disciple is doing that, that is not material job, it's a spiritual job. And the happiness which he gets by doing that job is not material happiness, it is spiritual happiness. And the consciousness which he develops through that is not material consciousness, it's spiritual consciousness. Because what is he doing? He's going to the office, but he knows the purpose of going to the office to serve the Lord. As simple as that. There's no hodgepodge, there's no difference of opinions. Because this is being instructed by Rupa Goswami, Pad in Nectar of Instruction. And Srila Prabhupada assured this so many times. Now this is what we need to follow. This is how we will be working for Krishna. This is how we are leading our life. Now this is what they express. Now, when that work is being done, that work is spiritual work. Please understand. That software job is also a spiritual job. It's not material job. Now, how that will become material? If we are using everything for us, then it becomes material. Just like here, Arjuna is using that cause and then telling that I will not fight because they are my family members. That is why it is material. Please understand. That is the reason why he got grief in his heart. Now, sometimes pure devotees will be kept in that state. Why? To teach all of us a lesson. Now, Arjuna was being kept. That's an arrangement of the Lord. Arjuna is a pure soul. But Arjuna was sometime, he was being just like there is a channel, right? If you press one button on the remote control, then you'll see news channel. If you press another button on the remote control, then you'll see sports channel. If you press another button, then you'll see movie channel. Different channels will be there, right? So likewise, here Krishna pressed a button. Now Arjuna, let's do this. Then Arjuna he spoke that chapter 1. Arjuna was kept in that channel. Now Arjuna will be changed from that channel to another channel. How? Through the process of surrender. Through an action only, dear devotees, it will happen. Otherwise, it will not happen. Because Arjuna currently is in one state. But from that state, he has to change to another state. For that to happen, something has to change, right? In the consciousness. For that grief to be dissipated in the heart, something has to be done. Now we can say that, oh Prabhu, I do not have any grief. I'm very happy. Now we need to check what kind of happiness is that. Is that material happiness or spiritual happiness? Mostly it will be material happiness only. Because that plane is not yet established. Because we are still not in that plane of pure devotion. That means the happiness which we are getting right now is a material happiness only. It's not in the spiritual plane. So that material consciousness has to be changed. Just like a material compassion has to be changed to spiritual compassion. What is a spiritual compassion? Spiritual compassion is to the soul, not to this body. Please understand. That means we don't take care of this body. No, no, we take care of this body for that soul only. Please understand. That means that taking care of the body will also become spiritual. Please understand. Another important aspect. That taking care of the body will not be on a material plane. For example, how that the taking care of the body will be on the material plane? Because if that body, when it is good, if it is used in sense gratification, then it is in the material plane only. That means taking care of this body is like material plane only. This deha bhava is a bodily conception. That's what Srila Prabhupada is condemning here. Material compassion. What is a material compassion? He gives the example. What is this beautiful example? What is material compassion? Material compassion is a compassion. For example, if a person is drowning, there are two things. His shirt came off while he is drowning. Now you have two options. Do you protect the body or do you protect the shirt which is drowning? Or the shirt is very expensive. He bought it from some big company. Do you go behind the shirt thinking that, oh, this shirt, if I protect this shirt, he'll be happy? Or do you protect the person? Obviously, you protect the person only. Shirt is not important. Likewise, real compassion is on the soul level, is on the spiritual level. It's not on the material level. It's not on the material plane. Real compassion is that. That is when Krishna will come. Here it is Prabhupada is mentioning it. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called Shudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. That means he's lamenting for the dress. That means Prabhupada is mentioning Arjuna's lamentation towards not fighting, to protect his relatives, is like lamentation of the outward dress. It looks heavy, dear devotees. It looks heavy. But that is true. Because that is the desire of Krishna to fight. As Arjuna is going against that, Prabhupada is confirming anything which is done against Krishna, that's on the material plane. You cry for that, you are very compassionate for that, or you might be very selfless for that, still that is material. Or you might have given up everything, still that is material. Even we are there in the Brahma Bhuta plane. We are realized that we are not this body but spiritual, but still that is material. Because you realize that you are not this body but a powerful spiritual, but you did not realize that you are eternal servant of the Lord. You have realized you're a jiva, you're a soul. You did not realize that this soul is a servant of the Lord. Unless that realization is established, everything is material. The compassion is material, lamentation is material, so-called selflessness is material, because there's no Lord in it. That's why we should be ever grateful to Srila Prabhupada and his followers. Why? Why we should be grateful to them? Because their devotees, they are the one who are establishing in our heart that what is real compassion, what is real lamentation, what is a real crying. You should cry because you cannot chant Hare Krishna. We should cry for that. Oh, my dear Lord, cannot chant Hare Krishna. Please help, dear Father. Oh, my dear Lord, I have no taste to read, to understand, to assess the scriptures. Please help, my dear Lord, for that. Oh, my dear Lord, I do not have taste to eat Krishna Prasad. My mind is wandering for so many unnecessary things. My tongue wanted to experience the taste of so-called restaurants of this world. It is all karmi food. My dear Lord, my tongue wants to experience that taste. Please, you should cry for that. This is a real lamentation. This is a real cry. Oh, my dear Lord, please give me taste to chant. Oh, my dear Lord, please give me taste to hear. Oh, my dear Lord, please give me taste to take good association. Oh, my dear Lord, please give me all of these things so that I can practice Krishna consciousness and then I can correct my state of consciousness. This is a real lamentation. This we need to accept. That's what here Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, very depressed. His eyes full of tears. Krishna spoke the following words. Krishna did not speak. Next is verse, Krishna will begin speaking. No, this is a state of grief. Now, we need to understand why this grief. We discussed about this last week also, why there is grief. And then we discussed about jealous, envy, difference between them. Because in both the scenarios, when Krishna is not there, it is jealous or envy. In the spiritual world, there is jealous. That's a transcendental. But in the spiritual world, there is no envy. Because envy is one quality which is not there in the spiritual world. Envy is which comes through hatred. This- There's no opposite to envy in the spiritual realm. There is jealous in this transcendental plane. This is pure. Na? For example, if Krishna goes away from his associates and then he's meeting someone else, then on a transcendental level, on a spiritual level, they feel jealous. Which we cannot understand actually. We do not have that consciousness. It's completely on a spiritual level and out of separation. It's a mood, one of their mood. Their devotees, all of these moods, we can only discuss. Actually, I'm not qualified to discuss those things because not, not in that purest state. Not qualified to discuss 10th canto Bhagavatam. Because for that to discuss, one's heart should be very, very pure. Should be completely selfless, completely free from everything. Pure state. Then only. But information he can get. But that information will not help. Transformation of the heart should happen. One time Srila Prabhupada was being asked this question in Nellore, South India. When Srila Prabhupada came for a program in Nellore, Andhra Pradesh, at that moment, they're not like fully practitioners, but they know about the Lord. And then there's those couple, they started asking, can you tell the Rasa Leela pastimes of Radha and Krishna? And Prabhupada said, oh, you might be qualified to hear, but I'm not qualified to speak. Just imagine, Prabhupada is telling that I'm not qualified. That's why we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not speak about these intimate pastimes with everyone. He spoke only to his close associates. Because only they could understand. Because they are completely selfless, they are fully surrendered. They completely give up sex life and everything. Fully. They're fully free from everything. They do not have anything in this world. Now that devotees, when they discuss, and that becomes nectar. No, having material desires, one should not go there also. What we will understand? If the heart is full with materialistic desires, what can we understand those pastimes? Cannot understand. That's why Gita. We should learn Gita. We should apply the principles of Gita. We should change our heart, change our consciousness. Then slowly, slowly, by the mercy of the spiritual master, it will be revealed to us. It's very important. Otherwise, no, we should not get out. One shouldn't go and then jump and then try to, read through all the chapters of 10th canto. But Prabhupada, he wrote Krishna book. Even in Krishna book, Prabhupada told about stories, but he gave full philosophy in that. Full philosophy. Through that story, he gave full philosophy of Krishna consciousness. That you are not this body, but a powerful spirit soul. How do we have anarthas? How do we come out of those anarthas? He gave full philosophy in that because he knows. At least people who are aspiring to know about the Lord, his 10th canto has been given as Krishna. That Krishna book is full, propagating full philosophy. That is his magnanimity. That is his greatness. Because he knows. Because this is the thing which has to be given. Because unless and until these principles go in the heart, how can we change our consciousness? Unless and until that consciousness is not changed, then how can we understand the pastimes? Now, the Srimati Radharani and their associates are they're so much in separation. What we can understand? We don't know what separation is. We know one kind of separation. What is that? When our money is lost, we are fully separated. We are in separation with that. Oh, my money is gone. My money is gone. For that, we are in separation. That spiritual separation, we have no idea. We have no idea or clue. So it's very, very important. So I will see if anyone has any questions, then we'll discuss based on that. Anyone has any questions? We will continue from Shloka 2 next week. But here, I would like to tell about real compassion. Real compassion is a compassion on a spiritual plan, compassion to the soul. Because this soul has been suffering since millions of lifetimes. The soul is taking birth. The soul, soul is already there. Soul goes into one body, does so many activities, again leaves the body, again takes another body. Since millions of lifetimes it has been doing this. So the compassion should be for that. We are that only actually. We are that soul which is there in this body. Not this person when we see through this video external, and not that. We are not that actually. We are that internal. We are that powerful soul which is there. That is the real compassion. We need to think about that real compassion. Because the time is running out for everyone. Should think about that. Understand progress. Otherwise, what happens? We are kept in so many situations of this world which forgets this real essence. That I'm not this body but a powerful spirit soul. When we forget this thing, when there is a problem to this body, when we are about to leave this body, then so much trouble will come to our body. Because so much trouble is coming. Because it is a very painful experience. We don't realize that I'm not this body, but a powerful spiritual. And not just that I'm the servant of the Lord. I should remember Him. I should meditate His qualities. I should meditate His devotees' qualities. But when we do that, then this is actually coming out of this bodily conception. And then not just doing that, and not engaging this body in so-called material happiness. This body cannot be engaged in that. That is not the purpose. There's so many animal bodies which are there. That is the purpose of that. Because animals, what do they do? That is what they do. They enjoy the body. But the same thing cannot be applied to a human being. Because that is not the purpose of a human being. You see this beautiful picture, Rupini Mataji and Manidhar Prabhu have shared Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. What are they doing? They're simply absorbed in chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They're all doing Sankirtana together. They have beautiful relationships among them. Then they're simply absorbed in that consciousness. And then they're just meditating on that beautiful aspect. They're meditating on Lord Chaitanya and his beautiful qualities. This is a real happiness. This thing we need to inspire. And this is a real compassion. We should be compassionate to ourselves also. Why we shouldn't? What is a real compassion to ourselves? Not engaging this body in sense gratification rather than using this body in the service of the Lord. Because we are that, this body is meant for that only. That is the whole purpose of this body. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Anyone would like to add, share anything? We'll discuss based on that. Any questions about compassion, lamentation? Hare Krishna. As no one has any questions,
Hare
we'll
Krishna
stop.
Prabhuji. Vandana
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Please.
Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for class. Prabhuji, last week you had mentioned about the difference between jealousy and envy. Someone
Mhm.
didn't note it, and you said, and in your class today, you mentioned that enviousness means there's a hate factor, right? Hate factor is involved, and then you become envious, and you're not happy with other person's happiness, not happy with other person's, sadness. You're just the opposite way you feel. But can you also tell once again about the jealousy? Jealousy is not connected to hatred. Is it something lighter than enviousness?
Yes, this is something lighter than enviousness,
Okay.
and that can be transformed. So, jealous is something
Hmm.
already we have, but we have a feeling that that might be lost. That is jealous. Envy means we do not have that, but other person has that. And then because he's having, we are envious towards him because we do not have that. Because this comes more on on a selfish plane, the envy. Because I do not have, other person has. For example, if another devotee is doing nice preaching, is doing great preaching, you know whether you know how we should check we have envy or not in our heart. If the other person is doing nice preaching, if our heart is ill, if our heart is not responding correctly in the way with that devotee, then we need to understand we have envy with that person. For example, if the other devotee is glorifying him, stating that, oh, Prabhu is great preacher. Through his preaching, a lot of devotees took up the process of Krishna consciousness and they are surrendering their life. Then this person will not digest. If that is happening, then there is envy. So we should be very careful. Just like Indra, we discussed about this. Right? Indra didn't like Prithu Maharaj's sacrifices because he's thinking that he doesn't have that, and the other person is doing. Uh, he didn't like that. That's why he wanted to stop it. So when we have envy towards the other person, we will stop his services. And that is an indication. And jealous means already we have that, but we have a fear of losing it. That is jealous. That is on a lighter note. That can be changed. But envy should be completely uprooted. Why means that is not good for Krishna consciousness because there is no envy in the transcendental plane. Because there is no hate towards the other person. There's always love. There's no hate. There's no envy there in the spiritual world. Because all the anarthas they have transcendental state in the spiritual world. But for envy, there is nothing. For jealous also we have, but not for envy. So it is important. Even jealous also we cannot be. We should always think. That means if I have something, there's a fear of losing it. That is called as jealous. Through that only jealous comes. That means you have a dear person. Let's say your son is very dear to you. Somebody, just giving an example. But your son is talking to a girl. You're thinking that, oh, your son might get married to that girl. So you become jealous to that girl. So that is called as that. Because we are thinking that oh, my son might go away. Because we have an attachment to our son. So if
Hmm.
you actually see when Krishna consciousness is applied in everything, then the jealousy is also removed. And it's part and parcel of the Lord. This is what is happening. We cannot do this. Immediately we leave. That's how it happens. Hare Krishna. Is that okay, ma?
Ji. And like, Indra, the Govardhan, when Lord Krishna picked up, Indra was envious of Krishna, the small little boy, and all.
Yes,
Yeah, that was example of enviousness.
correct. There's so many examples of Indra where we can see that
Yes.
how this envy will come into our consciousness. And this is a killer. Amma, I'm telling you, this will actually take away all our Bhakti Lata beach.
Hmm.
It will dry up our Krishna consciousness if one envy is there in your heart. We don't need all anarthas. One anartha is there that will take away everything.
Yes.
They slowly come into the consciousness. We need to observe our consciousness. When we observe our consciousness, that is the reason they say stay in the association of devotees. When you're staying in the association of devotees, then you can know your heart. For example, if I'm alone, I cannot know what's happening. I cannot check my heart. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But when I'm in the midst of the devotees, for example, you go Sunday to the temple, right? You see, you can understand. When you see a particular person, how your heart is reacting. If your heart is enviousness towards that person, then it immediately remove that. Now, how do we know whether I have envy or not? These are the things. That is why we have Bhagavatam. That is why we have all these things. That is why when the heart is completely purified, then we can discuss about intimate pastimes of the Lord, like Rasa Leela. Later on, once we become pure, because then only we can understand them. Up until that point of time, that is why Bhagavatam first canto, second canto, we should be completely thorough with that. We should learn the principles of Parikshit Maharaj. We should learn Bhagavad Gita actually. When we are thorough with Gita, then we understand why Arjuna is lamenting. If we know the reason, then we will immediately come out of the lamentation. This is a mercy of Srila Prabhupada. This is a mercy of our spiritual master. This is what they give us. Because what they are doing is they are correcting our heart. There's so many things in our heart. No doubt chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra will purify. But just through chanting, it will take some lifetimes. That's why hearing and chanting both are required. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told both hearing and chanting. I remember this is only Radhanath Swami Maharaj, on every initiation lecture, he talks about these two things, hearing and chanting. Why? That is a prominent thing. If these two things are not there, then nothing is there. That's why we should develop taste for these two things. That's why we need training. We need to train, we need to check our heart, we need to check our conscience. It's practical science. Then, when the heart is changed, then you will see the presence of the Lord at everywhere. But when the heart is filled with envy, how can I see? For example, you go to an event, it's a devotee event, you went there. There's a festival, you went there. Let's say you went to Nityananda Trayadoshi. There's so many devotees, but our heart is not happy. Let's say we have hatred or envy or lust towards the other person. Then we cannot realize that we are there, we are seeing the deities getting abhisheked. But our heart, the beautiful Abhishek is going on in the front. Gaurnita Abhishek is going on. But our heart is not right. Then can we release that? We cannot release that. That means there's a problem here, not there. For example, somebody did not call you to do Abhishek. Then we get upset. We become upset. Then we don't go to the temple only because they didn't call us. And this is not right. That's how the envy comes. Making sense, Aman?
Yes, Prabhuji. And you said your Guru Maharaj said hearing. Hearing means chanting and
Yes,
hearing.
yes. You're chanting and hearing, yes.
Both.
Srila Prabhupada also told us that same thing. Guru Maharaj just repeated those words. Chanting, hearing and chanting, hearing and chanting.
Thank you so much. Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Amma. We'll stop here. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If I spoke anything wrong, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Vaishnaveebhyo Vaishnaveebhyo Namo Namah. Ki jai.
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 Neelkamani ki
Jai.
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 Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, brother. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.